Longtime visitors of the archives will know that we absolutely love Dooku, and believe that he's one of the most underrated characters in Star Wars lore in terms of his raw strength and power in the Force, not to mention his mastery of the lightsaber. With that said though, there is somebody that we know that disagrees with us vehemently about Dooku's own skill compared to others such as Yoda or even Darth Sidious. That individual is Dooku himself, the Count of Sereno and the leader of the Separatist forces, not to mention a Dark Lord of the Sith. Dooku believed that his powers in the Force eclipsed that of his former master in Yoda. Dooku believed that his skill and his understanding of the Force was on a completely new level than that of his old master. Dooku believed in many ways that he had become what Yoda refused to be, what the Jedi was meant to be, and in Dooku's mind he was going to reform the Jedi Order, remake it in the image of the Empire and in the dark side. Dooku believed that he was wiser than Yoda, more skilled with the blade, and that his mastery and understanding of the Force eclipsed that of the old master. But why? What were the deeper intricacies on why Dooku believed that he had outgrown Yoda not only as a teacher, but also as an enemy? What about Dooku made him so much more powerful than Yoda in his own mindscape? Greetings, fellow searchers of knowledge of the Force, and welcome to the archives. Before we enter today's discussion, we have a massive sale for Cyber Monday. On the brand new Star Wars merch page, using code WAVE, you can get 15% already half off site-wide, so an additional 15% off your entire order. We've been trying to make larger videos with more editing, and the proceeds made by the merch page will be directly funneled back into the channel in order to improve on our larger scale videos that we would love to bring to you. Anyway guys, if you're interested, check the link in the description below, but with that said, let's open today's holocron. Dooku inherently believed that he was far more powerful than Yoda. His perspective was driven by his views on the Force, power, and his disillusionment with the Jedi, which Yoda represented. As a former Jedi Master, Dooku departed the Order because he felt it was corrupt, not living up to its potential. Dooku's beliefs were that the Jedi were bound to their rules and dogma, and that limited their understanding, and the true powers of the Force was just beyond their grasp, but that the Jedi in their current state would never even come close to their potential. Under the guidance of Sidious though, and furthered by his belief that he was stronger than Yoda naturally, Dooku believed that it was the Jedi code that held him back. Dooku saw himself as more willing to use the Force to its fullest extent, unconstrained by the Jedi's moral limitation. In his heart, Dooku still believed that Yoda was the greatest Jedi that had ever lived, but he even held more belief in his own sense of superiority. Dooku believed his understanding of the Force, especially after embracing the Sith, was more complete than that of Yoda's. Dooku believed that he could grow more powerful naturally than Yoda if he had stayed a Jedi, but he simply believed that it was his ability to accept a larger aspect of the Force, combining it with his Jedi teachings and the light side of the Force, to become what the Jedi were always meant to be, wielders of the light and the dark. This was rooted in Dooku's broader Sith philosophy, where power is seen as an essential means of bringing about change in the galaxy. Dooku viewed his path, which involved embracing the dark side, as a way to reshape the galaxy around him, contrasting with Yoda's passive approach, grounded in wisdom and the defense of peace. Dooku believed though that in order to bring about true peace in the future, you had to break peace in the present. And to Dooku, that peace was represented by the Jedi Code, attachment to the principles of peace and non-aggression. The belief shaped Dooku's view that Yoda was unable to grasp the depth of the Force, only reaching the surface level with the light side and what the Jedi were willing to teach. Dooku saw a wealth of knowledge and abilities that the Jedi simply refused to touch, and he believed this as pure ignorance. There are key points that Dooku thought were weaknesses in Yoda's approach: his Jedi dogma, his limited view of the Force. He believed the commitment to peace, defense, and the refusal to use the Force aggressively as a limitation, a misunderstanding of what the Force had given him, the ability to enact change. Dooku believed that inherently the Jedi did not understand the true purpose of the dark side, which made them less capable of dealing with the true nature of power and control. To Dooku, Yoda's focus on balance and peace made him blind. There was no balance and peace in the reality of the galaxy. Dooku believed that this required strength, and even that it meant using the dark side to attain that strength. Dooku essentially saw this wealth of power and knowledge, and he was confused as to why individuals like Yoda would not take a step down that path to reshape the galaxy for a more peaceful and an understanding era, to become a dictator, to sacrifice one's own soul in the pursuit of a better galaxy. Dooku saw Yoda as an individual that was powerful but was reluctant to act decisively when necessary. Dooku believed that Yoda's reluctance to embrace power was a flaw, as he had experienced firsthand how the dark side could provide clarity and decisiveness, something that Dooku had always felt he lacked as a Jedi, and something that the dark side imbued within him. giving him a newfound sense of confidence and fulfillment. While Yoda rejected the dark side for its destructive potential, Dooku felt that the dark side offered an ultimate path to control and strength, one that Yoda, due to his beliefs, failed to understand. Dooku believed that the dark side was there for the Jedi to use, that the Jedi were yet to reach their perfect enlightened form. Yoda was hesitant in battle. In their duel in Attack of the Clones, Dooku demonstrated his confidence, his superiority by challenging Yoda directly. And even though in this moment Yoda prevailed, Dooku still believed that he was right, that Yoda's respect for life, even his enemies' lives, was a weakness that would prevent him from ever defeating the Sith and embracing his own potential. The Count's belief in his superiority over Yoda was not just about physical power and power in the Force, but most importantly, Dooku thought that his ideology was more powerful than that of Yoda's. His philosophy. He saw Yoda's commitment to the Jedi's restraint and peace as making him incapable of wielding true power. He believed that the Force refused to grant Yoda the true power that it now granted Dooku. Dooku is a Sith, but after joining the Sith, he had a very complex view of the Force that was not common for their order. This was shaped by both being a Jedi and a Dark Lord. His transition to the dark side was driven by disillusionment and a lack of trust. He saw the dark side as empowerment and realism. Dooku said that the dark side of the Force to him represented freedom. Unlike many other Sith, Dooku's embrace of the dark side was not purely out of a lust for power and hatred, which makes Dooku himself extremely complex. Dooku believed that the dark side of the Force was a necessary step to dismantle what he saw as corruption within the Republic, and for the failures of the Jedi. It even stems from him, again ideologically, believing he is superior. As an aristocrat, Dooku's perspective aligned with the authoritarian structure of the Sith inherently. Dooku thought that strong leadership was essential for peace, which he thought the light side of the Force failed to achieve alone. But his opinion on the light side, unlike Sidious, was not that of hatred. As a Jedi Master, Dooku had upheld the values of the light side. However, his experiences with political corruption and the Jedi Council's perceived ineffectiveness caused Dooku to doubt the light side's utility in achieving any meaningful change. He considered the Jedi to be overly idealistic and optimistic, out of touch with the realities of the galaxy. He saw their commitment to peace and detachment as a limitation, something that rendered them incapable of addressing a larger systemic issue. While fully embracing the dark side of the Force and becoming a Dark Lord of the Sith, Dooku retained a respect for aspects of Jedi teachings that many other Sith Lords lacked. Dooku's shift was not about the outright rejection of the light side of the Force, but more about prioritizing the dark side's practicality, the effectiveness in achieving his goal. Like many Sith though, his reliance on the dark side ultimately would consume him, leading to arrogance, betrayal, and eventually his own downfall. Dooku's nuanced perspective makes him one of the more complex characters in all of the Star Wars saga. His belief in the dark side as a means to an end distinguishes him from other Sith, those that seek power simply for power's sake. And that is why Dooku is one of my favorite characters in all of Star Wars lore. And in the end, why he believed that he was more powerful than Grandmaster Yoda. But anyway guys, I hope you found this video enlightening and interesting. Most of us will agree that Dooku was incorrect, that Yoda's resilience and a true, layered, deep understanding of the Jedi way and the light side of the Force made him more powerful than Dooku, who fell into arrogance and an eventual lust for power above anything else, even peace. But hearing Dooku's thoughts are still really compelling, and gives us a look into the mind of a man who maybe ideologically originally didn't align with that of the Sith, but viewed them as a necessary evil, an evil that would corrupt and poison his soul. The soul that was once a good, valiant Jedi Master. But anyway guys, what are your thoughts on this? Again, be sure to check out the Star Wars merch page as a lot of the proceeds are going directly back into the channel and larger videos for you. But if you're not interested, thanks so much for watching. Love you all so much. Thanks for the support. And as always, may the Force be with you.